Pushpa ma'am is saying. So yes, it is there. The whole campus, the venue is resonating with the work that we have all put together. It's not one person who has done it. So thank you everyone. In the beginning I'm saying that it's overwhelming to me. There's simply no pill that can replace human connection. There is no pharmacy that can fill the need for compassionate interaction with others. There is no panacea. The answer to human suffering is both within and between us. Who else better than Sister Shivani, who's there with us, can say this? And we have been following you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being there. The words of Dr. Joan cannot ring more true considering the present scenario, especially among the youth, in a world of algorithms, hashtags, and followers. We have come up with a vision of strengthening the human connection. A very warm good afternoon to all once again to this very special and brilliant gathering of intellectuals here. With a humble heart, I welcome you all to this 22nd Annual GPSC Convention. Gurugram Progressive Schools Council has always been enthusiastically taking initiative in bringing the best minds together in revolutionizing the ways of teaching apt for the 21st century students. Today's annual convention on communication, the human connect, co-creating a culture of collaboration, commitment, and care will be no different day in presenting itself as an exemplary example for such endeavors. It is so overwhelming to have the gracious presence of some of the powerful, dynamic personalities with us today. As quoted by William Shakespeare, small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. I would like to take the opportunity to welcome our esteemed guests once again here, Sister Shivani, in today's session. During the session day, we will be joined by Dr. Himanshu Gupta, Secretary of CBSE, Mr. Nishant Yadav, DC Gurugram, Captain Indu Bokan, DO Gurugram, and we have amongst us Dr. Rakshit Tandon. Thank you so much. We are delighted and honored to have you, sir, with us. Your outstanding contributions to the field of cybersecurity and safety, particularly in educating young minds, are widely recognized. Your commitment to promoting cyber safety aligns with the current needs, and we eagerly look forward to gaining valuable insights from his session. I just saw Dr. Himanshu Srivastav had just joined us. Dr. Himanshu Srivastav, I extend a very warm welcome to you, a marvelous Bharatnatyam dancer and an excellent orator. I had the privilege listening to you and seeing your performance, and it was so overwhelming that I felt that you have to be there, a part of art. His presentations are captivating blend of verbal and visual artistry, offering a delightful treat. His remarkable work in raising gender sensitivity is par excellence. Having been fortunate enough to witness his mesmerizing performance, we eagerly look forward to listening to his insights today, gaining from his expertise and wisdom. We'll be joined shortly by Dr. Gopika Kumar, a renowned trainer, writer, orator, and mentor. Ms. Kanchan Rakesh is already there. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. She will be there as a panelist in building bridges through effective communication. Major General R. Puttarjanam, we would be having him also in our session today. He is Additional Director General Army Education of Indian Army. We'll be joined shortly by Justice Rachna Gupta, and it would be really pride for us to extend a warm welcome to her and for the panel discussion. And in the end, we'll be having Jazan Sharma, who will be bringing ghazals for us. He is known as Shehzada-e-Ghazal. He is a renowned He is renowned for his velvety voice, intricately intertwined with profound lyrics, leaving a lasting impression on every listener, eagerly anticipating the enchanting spell that awaits us. And we have Mr. Manoj Mittal with us. It is a matter of extreme, so though he is not a guest now because he is the host, but I need to introduce him also. It's a matter of extreme delight for me to welcome Mr. Manoj Mittal, the founder of DAV United. He has been a source of all support that we get. We are looking forward to hearing from you also, Mr. Mittal. So not only DAV, now he is there hand in glove with us at GPSC because we will be having the Festival of Words along with him. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our admirable founder members, Mr. P.K. Jain, Dr. Suman Gulati, Ms. Asha Sharma, Mrs. Anita Makkar, Dr. Indu Khetrapal, Ms. Nirmal Yadav, all of you, under the umbrella of your support and guidance that we are thriving today, I must say that you have created a legacy and we are just trying to follow your footsteps. I extend a warm welcome to all my fellow principals who have been invaluable comrades and pillars of support. We saw this as we entered the hall today. Their dedication, zest for perfection, and affection have made it all possible today. It gives me tremendous delight to welcome each one of you present here. Looking forward to having another productive and wonderful time with all of you. When everyone moves towards success, and the success takes care of itself. The foundation of GPSC is Sahodaya, combining Sahodaya, which literally meaning rising together and sharing our knowledge together. As I look back at the journey of GPSC so far, my heart fills with pride to see how we all have been blooming together with the pillars of support provided by being together. Sangachadvam, Samvadadvam, Samvo Manansi Janatam. Together, we can and we will. In our collaborative journey, we have forged ahead, combining our ideas to achieve remarkable results. I would just like to share whatever we have done in this few months that we had. First off, we had a Kargil delegation coming on 13th of October 2023. So, DAV Public School Sector 49, Bluebells Model School, and CCA School hosted them at various events. They are the Kargil delegate. Wonderful to have them. The next up is our participation as a team at Guinness Book of World Records. It is with immense joy and pride that I wish to share that GPSC schools have set a record in Guinness Book of World Record, collecting maximum amount of paper waste. Embark on this series of activities to help the underprivileged. The students of following GPSC schools participated wholeheartedly for this noble cause. I will not read out the name because everyone was donating, and if they didn't donate at this part, they were doing it at their own National Education Policy 2020. And to enable its implementation, the NCF addresses education for the age group of 3 to 18 years across the entire range of diverse institutions in India. The overarching objective of this NCF is to help in positively transforming school education system in India as envisioned in NEP 2020. And we at GPSC had conducted various webinars where the school principals came together to read the various pages and bring forth the readings of NCF. Thank you, Mr. Krishna Kumar Gaur. You just missed, I used your name here, and thanked you for being there. We also started with another endeavor this year, that is human libraries. Each of us is a library of thoughts, memories, experiences, and learnings. Human library is a library of people. It replaces books with human beings, recognizing the potential and sources of knowledge that each one of us have. We took the initiative in which principals were invited to share their experiences and thoughts with us. So these are the people who were our human libraries during the past days. Thank you, Mrs. Anita Makkar, Mrs. Anuradha Handa, Ms. Rashmi Malik, and Dr. Josephine Emmanuel also was there. Engagement, the next thing that we are going to take up is engagement between Study Gold Coast and GPSC. And I have to thank Ms. Rupa Chakravarti for this because she introduced me to this. We have also initiated a collaborative opportunity between GPSC and Study Gold Coast, Australia. A 12-member senior delegation from City Gold Coast, Australia will be hosted in the month of February, and we will be seeing that how they take up the program to conduct various capacity building programs for the schools of GPSC. ICP, the International Confederation of Principals, which started with Salvan Public Schools, and GPSC is happy to hold hands and come together with ICP. The upcoming council meet is in the year 2025, and we will be floating soon that how it is going to be taken up. The Confederation of Principals would be held at Namibia this year. Then Kenya, okay, sorry. And last but not the least, Festival of Words. This is something that we all are looking forward to. It is truly an honor to announce that in the month of April, GPSC will host the first ever Festival of Words in Gurugram. This unique event revolves around the theme, again, communication, the human connect. Because without words, we are nothing. And we have to think, as in the words of Sister Shivani, we have to think before we think that what we are going to speak. And with that, to bring this close to the students, that how words are so important, and we have to weigh each and every word that we speak. Sahodaya has not only taught us to rise and grow together, but all to support each other in all possible ways. I truly believe that we continue to blossom together as a part of GPSC. The idea is not to live forever, but to create something that will. Today's convention will focus on the ways to develop and enhance the human connect. I would just end by saying, एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल, दूजे के होठों पे लेकर अपने गीत, कोई निशानी छोड़ फिर दुनिया से बोल, एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing the kaleidoscope of activities and the vision that you are taking forward. And this was a very good example of art-integrated learning as well, if you could see. So let's clap for ma'am once again for this wonderful effort. Sunita ma'am, what's coming up next?
Something that I'm sure is going to enthrall everybody. It's something, a dance.
Oh, wow, we're coming up with a dance.
Dance is surely the most basic and relevant of all forms of expression. When we give ourselves over completely to the spirit of dance, it becomes a prayer. I invite the students from GPSC member schools to present the invocation dance.
इन बच्चों के लिए मैं कहना चाहूंगा, यकीन हो तो रास्ता कोई रास्ता निकलता है, यकीन हो तो कोई रास्ता निकलता है, हवा की ओट भी लेकर दिया जलता है. एक बार जोरदार स्वागत तालियों से इन बच्चों का.
Hello. Yeah. In unity, we find our strength. In differences, we learn at length. Human connect, a profound symphony. In the dance of souls, connections weave. A tapestry of bonds that hearts believe. In whispers shared, and smiles bright. Human ties, a beacon in the night. Threads of empathy, woven strong. Echoes of laughter, where we belong. Hands that reach, hearts that find, a harmony of souls intertwined. In every hug and words unsaid, human connections where spirits tread. and love's reflection lies the beauty of human connection, uniting us all in perfect harmony.
Once again, big round of applause for these wonderful dancers. There are shortcuts to happiness, and dancing is surely one of them. Once again, great job done, all of you. Words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. Words have energy and power along with the ability to help and heal. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly privileged and honored to have in our midst our keynote speaker, Sister B.K. Shivani. Your commitment to spreading love, compassion, and spiritual awareness is commendable, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of those who seek guidance. Welcome, Ma'am. Okay, please run.
Om Shanti. Let's take a minute of silence. Does this really mean for me, especially in the present times? In a time when we're always connected, the meaning of communication changes in context to the times that we're living in. So just feel the energy of the word for yourself. Not just the meaning of the word, what we've heard. Not just the experience of the word that we've lived. But maybe the current time requires a deeper meaning to the same word. Communication. When two people meet, we always feel that the communication starts when we start talking to each other. So whether it is verbal, whether it is just my body language, communication which can be seen and can be heard. But we all have experienced a communication which cannot be seen, cannot be heard, but can only be felt. Yes? Have we experienced that communication? जहाँ कुछ सुनना नहीं है, कुछ देखना नहीं है, सिर्फ महसूस करना है, वो communication. किस-किसने experience किया है communication? And that is the communication which is just through our vibrations. Which means when two people connect with each other, before they even speak, before they even say, before they even make an eye contact, it is the energy field of two people who's already connecting with each other. ये अलग बात है वो दो लोगों को पता नहीं होता कि ये हो रहा है, लेकिन ये हो रहा है. And the way my next two stages of communication will go in terms of how I am when I speak to the other person or behave, it's actually going to depend on the energy I experienced in the presence of that person. तो कई बार हम किसी से बहुत प्यार से बात करते हैं, लेकिन वहाँ से उतना ही respectful reaction नहीं आता है. It could be a family member, it could be a colleague, it could be a student also. And then that sets us thinking, saying कि मैंने इतने प्यार से इनसे बात की, इन्होंने इस तरह से क्यों react किया? And then the finger goes on them saying, they were the ones who were the cause of the wrong behavior. And that's where that deeper level of communication needs to be checked. How have I been thinking about that person in the last few days? क्या मेरी सोच में उनके बारे में कुछ critical, judgmental thinking चल रही थी? Something which I haven't said to them, I haven't messaged them, and I haven't even spoken it to anybody else. It was only in the mind. And I always believed कि मेरी सोच तो किसी को दिखाई नहीं देती है. So we've been trained as we were growing up कि सोच समझ कर बोला करो, क्योंकि एक बार शब्द बोल दिया तो वो वापस नहीं लिया जा सकता है. Perfect behave किया करो, सारी दुनिया आपको देख रही है. So we're always more or less perfect with our words and with our behavior because सब लोग देख रहे हैं, सब लोग सुन रहे हैं. And जो लोग मुझे बोलता हुआ देखेंगे, behave करता हुआ देखेंगे, they will create an image in their mind about me, so I try and be perfect in my words and behavior. But how I am in my mind, वो तो किसी को भी नहीं दिखाई देता. And so, I have the power today to be able to create a negative thought for you and speak a very, very beautiful, powerful, perfect word. Do we have the power to do that? क्या हम कर सकते हैं ये? कि कुछ और सोचें और कुछ और बोलें, क्या ये कर सकते हैं? किस किस को आता है ये करना? या हम ये नहीं किया कभी भी? किया नहीं क्या कभी? Even a simple thing like आपसे मिलकर बहुत अच्छा लगा, आना हमारे घर नेक्स्ट संडे. एंड अंदर से क्या बोर कर दिया, मेरा 15 मिनट वेस्ट हो गया. एंड वी थॉट इट्स नेचुरल, इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है. मुझे बोर लगा तो मैंने सोच लिया मुझे बोर हुआ. बट आई कैन से दैट टू देम. आई हैव टू से द परफेक्ट वर्ड्स कि आपसे मिलकर बहुत अच्छा लगा. अब आप यहाँ इतनी ब्यूटीफुल ब्यूटीफुल साड़ीज पहन कर आए हैं, इतने प्रिटी लग रहे हैं. मैं किसी को कहा यू लुकिंग सो ब्यूटीफुल, अंदर से सोचा इन्होंने देखा था कलर लेने से पहले कौन सा वाला ले रही हैं, दिस. एंड हमें लगा कि उन्हें सिर्फ मुझे मेरे वर्ड्स सुनाई दिए हैं. एंड सो आई विल गिव माई सेल्फ 10 on 10 ऑन माई कम्युनिकेशन. लेकिन उससे पहले हमारी वाइब्रेशंस उन तक पहुंच गए थे और उन्होंने वो अप्रिसिएशन सुनी. और क्योंकि हम काफ़ी एडिक्टेड हैं अप्रिसिएशन के साथ, हमें इंस्टेंटली वो अप्रिसिएशन बहुत अच्छी लगती है. लेकिन समवेयर द अदर पर्सन ऑल्सो सेज कि कुछ बिल्कुल परफेक्ट नहीं था. एंड सो द टाइम हैज़ कम कि हम अंदर बाहर सच्चाई और सफाई लेकर आएं, बिकॉज दैट्स द नीड ऑफ द आवर. जहाँ तक हमारे बच्चों की बात आती है, now the power that they need is not going to happen with words and behavior. Now it will have to go direct from here. क्योंकि अब उनको information की नहीं, power की ज़रूरत है. अब उनको knowledge की भी उतनी नहीं, लेकिन शक्ति की ज़रूरत है. क्योंकि knowledge तो आजकल घर बैठे ही मिल जाती है उनको सारा कुछ. कई बार तो वो हमारे से ज़्यादा पढ़ के आ जाते हैं क्लास के अंदर. And sometimes we also feel these children know everything, and sometimes they know more than what the teacher is going to teach in that subject. And then in the coming years we are going to have AI, we are going to have ChatGPT, we are going to have everything जो उनको सब कुछ दे देगा. उनको सब कुछ मिल सकता है, लेकिन उनको एक चीज़ नहीं मिल सकती है. And that's one thing which money cannot buy, and that's one thing which no technology can give them, and it's the vibration of the educator and the vibration of the school where they are going to be from morning to evening. So instead of thinking that what will we give them when they're going to get all this already, we need to give them that which they really, really, really need right now. क्योंकि ये वो शक्ति है जो उन्हें घर में मिलनी चाहिए, लेकिन कई घरों के सिनारियोज बदले हुए हैं, बच्चों की लाइफस्टाइल बदली हुई है. And so they have everything as far as knowledge is concerned, but when it comes to power, things have started shaking. Last few days back or last week, I think, there was a research and there's an article that has come in the press, not in India, it's outside the country. I still am not very comfortable because I still believe that those figures are not right, but they are very certain of what they are saying. And they say that right now, the age group between 11 to 25, which they call the Gen Z, globally, 42% children are experiencing mental health issues. Which means simple mental health issues, anxiety, depression, ADHD, and post-stress traumatic disorder. 4 उन्होंने दे दिए. But they are saying 42%. That means we're talking about half the children population on the planet. जिस दिन मैंने ये सुना, मुझे रात को काफी देर तक नींद नहीं आई. I said we are heading towards a very big crisis. एक बहुत बड़ा क्राइसिस हो जाएगा. क्योंकि वो जिनको हम ग्रूम कर रहे हैं to become leaders, if they are not experiencing best mental health, then everything else after some time will start looking futile. अब इसकी जिम्मेवारी कौन लेगा? उनकी फैमिली या उनका स्कूल? किसी सब्जेक्ट में तो ये आता नहीं है. And if we don't take care now, if it is 42% now, so next year January, this will go like this. It won't go gradual. This will go very fast. Before COVID, this was 25%. After COVID, it is 42%. तो आप ये सोचो कि ये हर नेक्स्ट ईयर में कैसे फास्ट उठता जाएगा. मेंटल हेल्थ इशू एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं तो वो प्रोफेशनल लाइफ के चैलेंजेस वैसे भी कैसे क्रॉस कर सकेंगे. रिलेशनशिप के अप्स एंड डाउन्स वैसे भी कैसे क्रॉस कर सकेंगे. स्कूल लाइफ वाज सपोज्ड टू बी द फन लाइफ. सो इसकी जिम्मेवारी अब कौन लेगा? कौन लेगा? हाँ जी, ऑप्शन तो आपके पास कोई है भी नहीं वैसे भी, क्योंकि उनके पेरेंट्स जो हैं वो तो खुद ही बहुत, एंड उनके पास अभी एक स्टैंडर्ड लाइन है, हमारे बच्चे हमारा कहना नहीं मानते, आप करवा लो उनसे जो करवाना है. एंड उनके बच्चे उनका कहना क्यों नहीं मानते? why do they feel like that? Because the parents are not taking care of their own emotional and mental health. So we don't have to introduce this as a new subject, we don't have to do anything extra about it, but the only thing that we need to start doing is that we become radiators of power to the children. हमारे एनर्जी फील्ड, हमारे ऑरा में इतनी शक्ति हो कि हमारे अंग संग जो आएगा वो एनर्जाइज्ड हो जाएगा. Emotional strength cannot be taught. It's not a subject. It's not value education. We're not talking value education. That's already there. We are talking of the power that we need to implement the value which I know. It is all about strengthening here. इस बैटरी को चार्ज करना है. And उसका सिर्फ एक ही तरीका है. Everyone surrounding them needs to be on a higher energy. And for that, the responsibility comes to all the educators, everyone who's there in a school setup. So, we need to change with the times. It's not about change in technology, in the change in emotional and mental health of the children. We need to change according to that time. हमने स्कूल में सारे सब्जेक्ट पढ़ा लिए, सिंगिंग, डांसिंग, हम सब ने स्कूल में ये सब कुछ सीखा था. लेकिन एक सब्जेक्ट है जिसके बारे में स्कूल में बात नहीं होती है, वो है कैसे सोचना है, कैसे बोलना है, कैसे बिहेव करना है, लिखना, पढ़ना, सिंग करना, डांस करना, खेलना, सब कुछ हम सीख लेते हैं. Nobody was teaching me the right way of thinking because we thought वो तो एक natural चीज़ है. Everybody knows how to think right. Everyone knows how to think right as far as the situations and environment is going right. But when a child is suddenly flooded with a completely different quality of information 24/7, फिर उनकी सोच उनके हाथ में नहीं रहती. It gets influenced by what they are consuming. Most of you must have read, it was in the newspapers of the country a couple of months back, 30 states in the United States filed a case against the company saying you are the cause of the mental health issues of our youth. And these companies which are giving us all the social media programs and all those platforms. हम सब ने वो पढ़ा, हमने समझा, लेकिन हमने उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं किया. They are openly saying you are the cause of the mental health issue of our youth. हर पेरेंट ने पढ़ा, हर टीचर ने पढ़ा, और फिर भी हमने उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं किया. तो वो तो फिर बढ़ता ही जाएगा, बढ़ता ही जाएगा. So now communication will not be about what I do with them. Communication will now depend on what I do with myself. What is my vibration? What is the energy I'm carrying to school every day? And what's the energy every teacher is carrying into the class every day? Instead of the teachers feeling हम क्या करेंगे जब सभी AI technology आ जाएगी, I think teachers need to start realizing कि पहले से ज़्यादा अब हमारा रोल और भी ज़्यादा important हो गया, क्योंकि अब तो हमें वो भी करना है जो उनके मम्मी पापा ने करना था. It's a completely different role now. Completely different role. But we will need to create an awareness of this in the school, that gone is the time that we can say stress is normal, anger is normal, fear is normal, irritation is normal, and allow ourselves to create those lower vibrational emotions because they radiate into the school. That is the environment with which the child is coming from home. That is the reason why that child is emotionally not very strong. And so for the next 8 hours while that child is in school, we need to raise their vibrations, send them home. Their power will go and raise the vibrations of their house. Now it's the other way around. जैसे आपने उनको सिखाया, don't burst crackers, they went home and taught their parents. वो parents बोलते थे नहीं नहीं दिवाली है शगुन, बच्चा कहता नहीं नहीं मैम ने बोला नहीं बजाना. Same, it has to go. वो संस्कार स्कूल से घर जाएंगे क्योंकि घर में उनकी ज़रूरत है अब. लेकिन that means it will need to become a priority in school. Can I request you to keep both your hands in the front for 10 seconds, and I'll just say out a few emotions and you choose which hand you are going to place it on. The left hand will be uncomfortable emotion and the right hand will be the natural emotion. The emotion which we call ye natural hai. And just raise your hand a little bit to see which one it is, and don't look at other people's hands. Stress. Natural emotion जो लगेगी उस पे रखना है. Stress is natural or uncomfortable? Uncomfortable. तो वो left पे आ जाएगा ना. Now we'll go faster. Happiness. Anger, irritation, impatience, love, ego, humility. Humility किस पे था? Comparison. कौन सा? Left. We have to be clear because इसको यहाँ fit करना है हमेशा के लिए. Comparison left, jealousy, cooperation, competition, fear, faith. बस इतना करना है कल से स्कूल में. जो right है वो ही स्कूल में होना चाहिए, जो emotion left है वो स्कूल में नहीं होना चाहिए. Once we remove it from the vibration of our system, it will go away from their minds because they are like blotting papers. They're just going to suck it in like that. But अब हम वो स्कूल की हवा में कैसे लेकर आएंगे ये right hand वाली emotions को? Very simple. I only have to start creating it in myself. When we say compassion, we cannot radiate compassion to other people till we are energized. Few years back, the Doctors Physician Association की जो oath होती है world पे level पे, that was changed. Earlier the doctor's oath was all about taking care of patients, and then their oath was changed and it was said, doctors, first take care of yourself because lack of self-care leads to compassion fatigue. इस last line को underline कर लीजिएगा. Lack of self-care leads to compassion fatigue. मतलब जब तक वो शक्ति मेरे पास नहीं होगी, किसी और को देना मेरे लिए पॉसिबल नहीं है. I cannot give it to someone else. So the doctor can treat, but cannot be compassionate. An educator can teach, but not necessarily be compassionate unless they energize themselves. Compassion, not the one with words. Compassion as a power which is there in the vibration of the adult. Compassion, which is an energy which the child was to get from the parent and get emotionally strengthened, but the parent is not practicing self-care. Because वो कहते हैं हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है, उनके पास टाइम नहीं है अपना ध्यान रखने के लिए. So for the sake of the children, and not just children in school, for the sake of your own children, we will have to begin with ourselves. And इसमें सबसे बड़ा फायदा किसका हो जाएगा? इसमें सबसे बड़ा फायदा किसका हो जाएगा? हमारा खुद का. Because we are also living a life which we are saying stress is normal, I'm a principal, काम बहुत होता है, stress तो होगा ही. It is this vocabulary. ये festival of words ना बहुत important है. But this festival of words means our basic vocabulary needs to change. We say हम principal हैं तो stress तो होता ही है. Then the students say हम बच्चे हैं, exam है, stress तो होता ही है. These words need to change. Stress is equal to pressure divided by resilience. हम ये कह सकते हैं हम principal हैं, pressures बहुत होते हैं. वो ये कह सकते हैं हम पढ़ रहे हैं, exam pressure होता है. But we didn't use the word pressure, exam pressure, work pressure. We said work stress. There is a difference between work pressure and work stress. Pressure comes from outside. Stress is my creation in response. But when we said stress to hota hi hai, and they said stress to hota hi hai, and their parents said stress to hota hi hai, and then for the last 10-15 years we have said stress is normal. Had we stopped then and changed it, today we would not be saying I'm feeling depressed. 99 fever पर ठीक कर लिया होता, वहीं की वहीं problem खत्म हो जाती. So when you and me were in school, we were not even using the word stressed. जब स्कूल में थे सब stress word use किया? नहीं, वो सिर्फ physics में ही था. हम कौन सा word use करते थे? Tension. वो भी साल में 2 दिन, एक दिन एग्जाम से पहले, एक दिन रिजल्ट से पहले, वो भी थोड़ी सी. ओ आज बड़ी टेंशन है, आज एग्जाम है, अच्छा अगले दिन ठीक. आज बड़ी टेंशन है, रिजल्ट है, अगले दिन ठीक. They shifted to stress. And today they are not saying I am stressed. उनकी आजकल की cool vocabulary है I am depressed. And अगर हम आज भी नहीं रुके, because right now they're using the word depressed as a mood, but it is an affirmation. If they will keep saying I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, next year we will be saying depression is normal. So a fundamental change in vocabulary is needed, that stress is not normal, stress is a disease, an emotional disease. Disease means dis-ease. When my mind is uncomfortable, it shifts from a position of ease. So it is a dis-ease. So stress is not normal, stress is a dis-ease. Had we talked about it, we would have taken care, they would have taken care. But we said stress is normal. आज आप शाम को घर जाओ और आप किसी को भी आज जाकर कहो, पता है मुझे कभी स्ट्रेस नहीं होता है, कहेंगे क्यों, आप नॉर्मल नहीं हो. So we've reached that stage where we are going to say अगर आपको स्ट्रेस नहीं होता है तो आप नॉर्मल नहीं हो. Is this the result of all the hard work that we have been putting in for the last 2 decades? We are saying stress नहीं होता तो नॉर्मल नहीं हो. So let's take back these 2 lists, that these are not normal. Let's keep talking about it and let's start living it. Anger is not normal, it is a dis-ease. COVID आया, हमने कहा fear is normal, COVID है. And the reason why this fear and anxiety has risen after COVID, because for 2 years, billions of people on the planet created fear and anxiety at the same time, so it became the collective vibration of the planet. हवा दूषित हो गई, रोज सुबह खिड़की से देखते हैं ना आज हवा कितनी साफ है। अब वो हवा हमें पता चले नहीं चले हमारे ऊपर असर तो कर ही रही होती है, इवन तो हमें आदत पड़ गई है उस पोल्यूशन की, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन इट्स नॉट अफेक्टिंग अस। बट जब हवा इमोशनली दूषित हो जाती है, एंड सो कोविड खत्म हो गया, बट फियर एंड एंजाइटी इज देयर टू स्टे बिकॉज वी अब्सॉर्ब्ड इट even while we were locked at home and COVID did not enter the house. So are you ready to start taking care of yourself? Yes? Yes? क्योंकि जब तक आप नहीं करेंगे, आप टीचर को नहीं बोल सकेंगे, टीचर नहीं करेंगी, तब तक वो आगे नहीं बोल सकती है. So don't think of sharing this with anybody else till you do it for yourself. आप क्या करेंगे अपना ध्यान रखने के लिए? What are you ready to do? अच्छा पहले बताओ आप कितना टाइम देने के लिए रेडी हो अपना ध्यान रखने के लिए? कितना टाइम है आपके पास? एक और वोकैबुलरी चेंज, आई एम वेरी बिजी, आई डोंट हैव टाइम. How many of you say this at least once a day? I'm very busy, I don't have time. फेस्टिवल ऑफ वर्ड्स अप्रैल में होगा ना, हम उससे पहले ही अपने वर्ड्स चेंज कर लेते हैं. Then we will share the power of words with the people through our experience and conviction of our transformation. Just experiment for the next 2 months. काम बहुत है, absolutely. Calm and busy is 2 different things. I have a lot to do. I can meet you next week. I don't have time this week. But I'm very busy, I don't have time is completely different thing. Because कुछ लोग तो रिटायर होके घर पर होते हैं, फिर भी वो बहुत busy होते हैं. Because busy and easy is not about how much work we are doing. It's about our attitude. How much I'm feeling light here and how much I'm feeling cluttered there, that's what decides. So just start saying it. I'm very easy and I have more time than I need. बोलेंगे एक बार जरा? बोलो अभी बोलेंगे तो बात करेंगे. I'm very easy and I have more time than I need. It's like how we say, don't use the word of lack, use the word of abundance. You know, तो कोई कहता है मेरे पास पैसे कम है, तो हम कहते हैं lack की बात नहीं करते, हमेशा भरपूरता की बात करते हैं. बोलो मेरे पास बहुत है. Same thing needs to be said with time. Repeatedly saying I'm busy, I don't have time doesn't give good energy here and doesn't even give good energy to the body. Because anyone who's not healthy here cannot remain healthy here for a very long time. Even if we are eating right, exercising right. Because it's the emotional health which will affect the physical health. So, how many of us are stressed? ठीक है ना? Change हो गया? Vocabulary words change. Using the power of thoughts and words, understanding the power of affirmation, that any line that I repeat often will become my reality. हमने पिछले 20 साल से बोला I am stressed, I am stressed, I am stressed, I am stressed, you are stressed, we are stressed, we are all stressed, stress is normal. इतने छोटे छोटे बच्चे बोलते हैं I am very stressed today. मुझे लगता है ना उनको मीनिंग पता है ना, स्पेलिंग पता है. But that is the power of words, no? We pick it up from everybody and we start using the word. So from today, instead of saying I'm stressed, even if you're not feeling perfectly fine inside, just don't use the word. Use the word which you want to make your reality and start saying I'm very happy always. कोई आएगा आपको देखेगा, आपका चेहरा थोड़ा सा ऐसे कहेगा मैम सब ठीक है, आप स्ट्रेस तो नहीं हो? नहीं, मैं बिल्कुल परफेक्ट हूँ. अभी अभी उन्होंने कहा था ना ऑल इज वेल. पहले उन्होंने क्या था, पहले कहा कि मैं सोच रही थी कैसे होगा. नाउ व्हेन यू स्टार्ट सेइंग कैसे होगा, होगा या नहीं होगा, ठीक होगा, सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, टाइम पे हो जाएगा, सब आ जाएंगे, हो तो जाएगा ही. लेकिन what do I create? By creating all these thoughts, I create a lot of noise here. And this noise is a lower vibrational energy. And this lower vibrational energy doesn't just stay in my system, it radiates to everybody around me. सब कुछ बाहर ठीक हो भी जाता है, 1% नहीं भी होता है तो कोई बात नहीं, ठीक कर लेंगे. नहीं भी ठीक होता तो भी कोई बात नहीं. यहाँ सब ठीक कर लें. Let's make this the priority of our life. For the last few decades, we've only wanted to make the outside world perfect. The time has come to prioritize making the inside world perfect. Inside perfect कर लेते हैं, outside बढ़िया हो ही जाएगा. Stressed minds have created miracles. Happy minds will create magic. Magic create कर लेंगे. तो क्या हाल चाल है आपका? आपका हाल चाल क्या पहले बताओ. हाँ जी, चलते फिरते लोग आपको पूछे ना क्या हाल चाल है, हाउ आर यू डूइंग. क्या बताऊं, तुमको तो पता है कोविड के बाद से क्या चल रहा है. वर्ड्स शॉर्ट एंड स्वीट, एवरीथिंग इज परफेक्ट. मैंने सुना आपके घर में ऐसे, नहीं जी सब परफेक्ट चल रहा है. मैंने सुना आपकी तबीयत ठीक थी, बिल्कुल ठीक है, बिल्कुल ठीक है. वर्ड्स, use only high vibrational words, because our high vibrational words will start creating our energy. It will make my aura, and my energy will create my emotional health, my mental health, my physical health, and then my aura will radiate to every teacher and will radiate into the air of the school, and then their aura will radiate to everybody else. करने शुरू. So I am happy, I am perfect. बोलते जाना प्यार से, I am perfect. ये नहीं सोचना लोग क्या सोचेंगे, हैं तो सही नहीं परफेक्ट, क्यों बोल रही हैं हम परफेक्ट है. तो बोलेंगे मैम आप परफेक्ट थोड़ी हो जो परफेक्ट है. तो उनको बताना इट्स अ लॉ, जो मैं सोचूंगी बोलूंगी वो मैं बन जाऊंगी. बिकॉज संकल्प से सिद्धि होती है. थॉट्स मैनिफेस्ट, दे बिकम अ रियलिटी. इफ आई से आई एम परफेक्ट, इफ आई से आई एम फीलिंग परफेक्ट, देन आई एम क्रिएटिंग दैट वाइब्रेशन ऑफ परफेक्शन विच इज गोइंग टू रिमूव द क्लटर ऑफ ऑल द अदर इमोशंस फ्रॉम हियर. सो सिंपल वोकैबुलरी है. जो सोचना चाहते हैं, जो फील करना चाहते हैं, वो ही बोलना है. वेदर इट्स अबाउट योर सेल्फ और वेदर इट्स अबाउट अदर पीपल. कल हमारी जो मॉर्निंग में क्लास होती है सेंटर पर, उस पर एक बहुत पावरफुल लाइन थी. यू कैन टेक इट एंड यूज इट फॉर एवरीवन अराउंड मी. तो उसमें हमने सीखा कि सामने वाला कैसा भी हो, आप सोचना शुरू करो ये बहुत अच्छे हैं. बोलिए. बोलना नहीं उनको, उनको तो आपको जो बोलना है वो बोलना है. ठीक है, यू हैव टू टेल समबडी ये ठीक नहीं था, ये आपको ऐसे करना है, बट नॉट क्रिटिकल जजमेंटल थिंकिंग. Earlier we were creating negative thoughts but saying positive words. Now create positive thoughts and use whatever words are needed for the disciplinary action. Which means your vibration needs to go clean, pure, powerful, and then you need to say what needs to be done. तो उसमें ये था कि आप उनके लिए बोलते जाओ आप बहुत अच्छे हैं, आप बहुत अच्छे हैं, आप बहुत अच्छे हैं. बहुत अच्छा बोलते बोलते पहले आप बहुत अच्छे बन जाएंगे. मतलब यहाँ कोई जजमेंटल क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग नहीं, किसी की कमजोरियां नहीं, किसी की वीकनेस नहीं. बिकॉज आई क्रिएटेड ओनली अ ब्लेसिंग फॉर एवरीबडी. आई डिड नॉट कंज्यूम देयर वीकनेस एंड पुट इट हियर. और बहुत अच्छे बोलते बोलते आप बहुत अच्छे बन जाएंगे. आपकी बहुत अच्छी वाइब्रेशन उनको नेगेटिव से पॉजिटिव बना देगी. दिस इज कम्युनिकेशन फॉर द पावर टू ट्रांसफॉर्म पीपल. जस्ट रेडिएट दैट राइट एनर्जी टू द अदर पीपल एंड दे विल चेंज. जो बात यहाँ से नहीं समझ में आती वो यहाँ से इंस्टेंटली पकड़ी जाती है. वी नीड टू स्टार्ट यूजिंग द पावर ऑफ वाइब्रेशंस इन कम्युनिकेशन बिकॉज दिस इज द मोस्ट पावरफुल लेवल ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. अगर आपका कोई कहना नहीं मानता है, what you are asking them to do वो नहीं करता है, what you are asking them to change वो नहीं करते हैं, यहाँ से बोलना बंद कर दीजिए और यहाँ से बोलना शुरू कर दीजिए. बट यहाँ से जो वोकैबुलरी जाएगी, इट शुड ऑल बी दैट वोकैबुलरी शुड नॉट बी आप ऐसे हो, आप ऐसे हो. बोलो आप ऐसे हो, आप इतने पावरफुल हो, आप तो जो डिसाइड करो फटाफट कर सकते हो. आपके अंदर तो इतनी ब्यूटीफुल क्वालिटीज हैं, ये तो आपके लिए कोई काम ही नहीं है, ये तो ऐसे हो जाएगा. जस्ट रेडिएट दिस फ्रॉम हियर एंड विद इन अ फ्यू डेज यू विल सी दैट पर्सन चेंज. This power is never there in words and behavior. Because when I speak to you from here, when I behave, it is my ego and your ego which is there in between in the communication. But when I radiate from here, your ego is not in the way. It just goes, जैसे medicine खिलाते हैं ना, तो वो यहाँ से है. IV दे दो तो सीधा दवाई अंदर चली जाती है, वो यहाँ से है. So we just send vibrations. But for this, I will need to keep this very, for me to be able to radiate that to another person, I will need to keep this very, very clean. Not even calm, just clean. Clean is calm. Clutter is noise. When there are too many thoughts, clutter is noise. So इसके लिए एक छोटी सी चीज करना रख शुरू करिए. Please start keeping at least 15 minutes for yourself every morning. If I want to use my phone throughout the day, I need to charge it in the morning. I cannot go to work with a discharged phone. I cannot say I don't have time to charge my phone. So energize yourself for at least 10-15 minutes every morning. We can't go to school with all that noise in our minds. So a little meditation, a little yoga pranayam, a little silence and stillness, a little strengthening the mind with the right nutrition of consuming high energy words. That is where spirituality plays a very important role, because when we are consuming spiritual content, they are high vibrational words, and whatever content I consume very soon becomes my vocabulary. It will become my vocabulary. So at least 15 minutes every morning and at least 10 minutes before going to sleep. These two timings are crucial for emotional and mental health. सारा काम करके जब हम थक जाते हैं तो हम रात को घर टूटने वाले सीरियल देखने लग जाते हैं, एंड फिर जब वो सीरियल खत्म हो जाते हैं और हम बेड में चले जाते हैं, ऐसे अब मेरा फोन, तो पहले टीवी फिर मेरा फोन. I have cluttered my mind with lower energy words. They now are not just content, they are my vocabulary. They are my vocabulary. तो भी देख लिया, कोई बात नहीं, देख लिया, बंद हो गया. Last layer of information on the mind should be high energy words, because it is those high energy words which are going to get processed in your subconscious in the next 6 hours of sleep. So I cannot go to sleep with low energy words consumed from world news देख ली, किसी के messages पढ़ लिए, social media scroll कर लिया, थोड़ी सी jealousy create हो गई. Cannot go to sleep with that. I will need to go to sleep in the highest vibrational state to experience processing of positive words during my 6 hours. क्या हम रख सकते हैं इतना सा टाइम अपने लिए? Yes? Yes? कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि first we will do it, we will experience it, we will raise our vibration, and then we will have the power to even share it with somebody else, which means the next who are going to come in contact with the children throughout the day. लेकिन हमारी बात का प्रभाव उन पर तब पड़ेगा जब हम उसको खुद रोज कर रहे होंगे. And most important, we have to reach a level where we start doing this with the children. The sooner we make mindfulness and meditation, अब देखो अगर कुछ गिरता है ना, हमें टर्न करने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. This is how we get the power over the mind. जहाँ मन को जाने की जरूरत नहीं, उसको घूमने की जरूरत नहीं. Nothing to do with me. Why should my mind go there? उतना discipline create हो जाएगा. वहाँ जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. अभी वो बच्चे पढ़ने बैठते हैं, and their mind will hop and skip and jump everywhere because they are not practicing this mindfulness and meditation every day. So when we experience the benefit of it, we can start introducing it as just 5 minutes in the beginning of the day. Like we have our morning prayer, which is compulsory in every school, now only prayer will not be enough. I remember 12 years I've said the same prayer in school. But over a period of time, वो रट जाती है. वो रट जाती है. So I can say that prayer even in the middle of the night today. But I could say that prayer in school even if I was thinking of something else. आज मैंने ये नहीं किया, आज ये होगा, आज जिस subject में मैम ये बोलेगी, आज ये बोलेगी. But यहाँ से I'm saying the prayer. So along with the prayer, we need to add at least 5 minutes where those children are made to sit in silence and then give them those high energy words which they will absorb, and then they will learn how to do it for themselves. But that all we will inculcate after we experience that power of it in our life, the transformation, and then send it to them. There is no other way. There is no other way to energize the emotional health of children now unless we inculcate meditation, stillness, silence, high vibrational words as a compulsory part of their student life. Because वो घर में नहीं हो रहा अभी, वो घर में नहीं हो रहा. And अगर हमने अभी नहीं किया, so by next year we would be talking another figure. I feel we're already a little late. हम ऑलरेडी लेट हो चुके हैं. क्यों वो इतना सफ़र कर रहे हैं? क्यों वो ऐसे बोलते रहते हैं एंग्जाइटी हो रही है, एंग्जाइटी हो रही है, डर हो रही है? क्यों वो यहाँ तक पहुँचे? बिकॉज वी स्टिल डिड नॉट इनकलकेट दैट व्हेन वी सो. तो ये कर लें हम. यस, अप्रैल तक ये करते हैं. फिर अप्रैल के बाद नेक्स्ट चीज़ देखेंगे. एंड एक छोटी सी रिक्वेस्ट, प्लीज स्टार्ट टॉकिंग more and more in school. I'm sure you're already doing it, but how much ever more, they need to stop using social media. They need to stop. It's an addiction which should have been allowed only after 18-20 years. That is the cause. That is the cause of all this anxiety. Consuming all this content before going to sleep, addicted to it, scrolling, पता नहीं चलता time कब बीत गया, and then going to sleep with all that anxiety content, and then allowing that anxiety content to go into that subconscious during sleep, and then experiencing fear and anxiety as a result of that. उसको हटा दें, हमारी सारी problems खत्म हो जाएंगी. It is an addiction which we need to talk about. But nowadays I meet children whose parents are strict. They don't want them to have social media accounts. Lekin if that child does not have a social media account and is not on all these platforms, then that child is ridiculed by their friends. So when we start talking more and more about this in school, that what is right and what is not, then at least those who are on the right will have the power to stand on the right. They are ready to stand on the right, but then they are minority. और इसीलिए उनका फिर इतना मजाक उड़ता है that now I am meeting children who are standing on the right going through a depression. तो फिर उनके पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं फायदा क्या हुआ, ये तो फिर मेरे बच्चे का नुकसान ही हो गया, इससे अच्छा तो वो वही करे जो सब कर रहे हैं. Because they are singled out, they are being ridiculed, they are made to feel as if they are boring, they are old-fashioned. So we will need to start talking about what's the right fashion in school. Whether it's talking about it, whether making it a disciplinary action, in whatever way. That's of course your field, how you do it. But if we still don't do it, honestly we're heading towards a very big crisis. We're already talking of, I was with the symbiosis leader last week and she said every campus, 1 psychiatrist, 4 psychologists and a mind lab. This is success. Every campus of their college, 1 psychiatrist. Every campus, first they had 1 for the entire symbiosis group. Now every campus, 1 psychiatrist, 4 psychologists and a mind lab. And she said, फिर भी कल suicide हो गया. So it will have to now not be at college level. We will have to start it with school. So communication will need to depend on here, our vibrations. Thank you so much. Shukriya.
Thank you so much, Didi. It was wonderful, and I would like to apprise all of you that I've been actually practicing whatever Didi has said and it started in 2007, if I'm not wrong, Didi, when you started talking on the show Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. And this is the second time I'm actually being honored to, I was actually supposed to introduce you and read your profile, but I think you read my thoughts. My vibration reached you first. That I was just thinking that what will I talk about you? Because you already are such a big, I would say, energy, not even personality, because it's like immensely powerful. You have changed millions of lives, and my life is one of them. So a lot of gratitude to you. And you are very right. People do say that you are not normal. Because I'm practicing each and everything what you talk about, and today you just revised all the content for me. And believe me, all of us will have to do this thing which Didi has said, that we have to raise our own vibrations so that the change happens. Otherwise, we'll keep thinking that this person has got depression and these children, the mental health is a big issue in the schools. We are all facing it after COVID especially. And Didi, you really rightly talked about whatever we have to do. One thing which I would like to add is that nowadays the children don't even know what they're experiencing. So if we can have that chart of emotions, they should identify that what emotion the child is going through, because the solution will come then only. Right? And of course, we all have to empower ourselves with the solution. So thank you so very much on behalf of the UPSC and all the people sitting over here and all the people who are connected with us live for giving us this valuable lesson today. And certainly we are waiting for the Festival of Words also. And I'm sure our vocabulary is going to change. So thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Sister Shivani. We are so blessed to have you with us today, and your talk has been so inspirational. Can we please request you to come on stage once again? I would now like to invite members of the Executive Council and Mr. Manoj Mittal to kindly present to Sister Shivani a token of our gratitude on behalf of all of us. We are truly honored to have had the privilege of listening to Sister Shivani's words. Let's capture this moment of enlightenment in our memoir and request the founder members to kindly join us on stage for a collective memory to be cherished forever. Life is full of beautiful memories, and this is certainly going to be one of them. May I request the erstwhile chairpersons to also join the group on stage, please?
Gathering the stars in one frame, a momentous photograph with our esteemed guest, each one a shining beacon of excellence. This is
a
memory.
Moment lasts for seconds, but the memory lasts forever. Thank you, everyone, for this moment of treasure. We would request you to kindly take your seats in the audience.
So there you saw a wonderful memory being created. And ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and privilege to have with us today Shri Himanshu Gupta ji, IAS Secretary CBSE, as our chief guest for this convention. Let's welcome sir. I request members of the Executive Board to kindly welcome and felicitate Shri Himanshu Gupta ji. Here we have a chief guest for this convention, Shri Himanshu Gupta ji, IAS Secretary CBSE. We welcome you, sir. Thank you for gracing this occasion. Now I would like to invite Ms. Charumeni, Chairperson GPSC, to kindly introduce our guest to the audience. Ma'am. So we are honored to have sir with us today. So, we're having this convention on communication, which means a lot because it connects us all. And it's the most beautiful thing we all have. Here we have Charu ma'am for you. Charu ma'am.
Yes, it's such a privilege to have you amongst us, Dr. Himanshu. Such a humble personality, such tall personality. You connect with us, and we are so honored to have you. Everyone in the hall, I'm sure, knows you because of your work that you did with Delhi schools, and we are so happy that you are here with us. Thank you so much, and can we have you here on the stage immediately? We have not even offered him a water. Thank you so much. Please come. Names of people who are present. Names of the people who are there.
Just take the names of the
Quickly. So I am Charu. I am the chairperson. And you just say.
Madam Charuji and all the foundation members and founding members of the Gurgaon Progressive Schools Council and Sister Shivani, it's a proud privilege for me to come here today and address all of you. And I have been told that more than 52 schools of Gurgaon region are participating in this program. And we have also been lucky and grateful and privileged to get the grace of Sister Shivani today. And the topic that I'm very happy that a very, very important but a topic generally that is being left out is being taken up by the council, and that is communication. And in school education or in teaching, learning, I think communication is very, very important. We have three main stakeholders in our education in a society. These are students, teachers, and parents. And it is very, very important that all the three stakeholders are communicating with each other. If I talk about students, it is very, very important that students from all different background, since they study together in a school, it is very important that all the students are able to effectively communicate with their teachers, with their principals, and teachers also find it very, very, teachers also understand that it is very important that students, not only students from who are academically bright are able to talk in classrooms, but it's actually each and every child in the classroom must get that comfort that he or she is being heard or listened to and is able to communicate properly in a classroom setting. I would start off with teachers first because ultimately it's the teacher who drives the classroom, and it's the way a teacher communicates in the classroom determines how his or her class will go. And effective classroom teaching not only just involves speaking, it also involves listening, it also involves effective way of reading and writing. And sometimes I would like to start this off with one of my experience. I had a very bitter experience in my school and a very good experience. I still remember in class 8th when I was being asked by my English teacher to read from that NCERT book, and when I fumbled, the entire class, made fun of me. And I still have that, that memory alive in me, and that has impacted, for a long time my confidence. And I also have an example of a teacher who motivated me and who kind of, I still remember that was, I think, class 4th or 5th, where my maths teacher motivated me and said that you are doing exceptionally well and, you have a huge future ahead in life, especially in mathematics. And, I took mathematics as my optional in civil services, and I scored the highest in the country. So, the reason why I am saying all this thing is that a supportive teacher plays a very, very important role in a classroom. That's why in early years especially, since all the principals are here, you must hold definitely, special sessions with your PRTs, that in early years it is very, very important that a positive and a supportive academic environment is there in a school, where a child is not frowned upon, a child is not told that you cannot do anything, or a child who is not performing well is told that, you are not doing good in this. These sort of words should not be used in early years of academic teaching. And a child must be supported in a way that, if a child is even not, if that's why we say the child is at beginner level, or, at better level. So the terminology that is used in school and the way the child is addressed, it is very, very important that it is such that a child does not feel that he is not performing well. I'll give you another example, that we in Delhi government started a unique thing of Model United Nations for primary children. So children of class 3rd, 4th and 5th, they participated in Model United Nations, where there were 70 students, 70 countries they were representing. And after the program, we just, before prize distribution ceremony, we interacted with the students, and students said that initially they were very, apprehensive about the Model UN, but they really enjoyed the process, and all of them were really very happy and excited in participating in MUN. But then when we started giving awards to them, we realized that suddenly the atmosphere changed and a lot of students started crying. We gave awards to only 15 students. But then we realized that in early years, even when you reward few students and you don't reward few students, it creates a kind of negative, especially in foundational years. It creates a kind of feeling in a child that why is it that the other child is being rewarded and I am not rewarded. So all those factors must be kept into mind when you communicate with students in primary years. Perhaps when you move up the hierarchy, when you move to middle level, then the time comes when you can give both positive and a negative feedback to children. But still, even when you give any negative feedback, that should be sparingly used in classroom education. I mean, if there is, we all must as educators realize that if your class is becoming like very noisy, or it is becoming indisciplined, it is not just the students who are responsible for that. Perhaps the teaching is happening in such a way that students are not finding interest. So that's why you have to create an environment where children, they find something very interesting, and that's why they get engaged. Perhaps one-to-many method, we call it two-pad method, where a teacher simply asks a child to stand up and read the book. We have to, obviously majority of our schools have moved apart from that, but still you must try to utilize group discussions, peer feedback method, maybe case studies method, where you give, rather than a homework, you give case studies to students, and then when they come to classroom, you make them sit in different groups, and then they talk about what is, they discuss freely about the ideas. But then you must identify the ones, all sort of students. There are few students who always raise their hands. And if a teacher always says, good, you are, he is the bright boy. And there might be few students who are shy, who are not speaking, but they are active listeners. So it is very important that you identify active listeners also, the students who are taking part, and the ones who are not taking part, then try to identify the reasons. Why is it that the child is not taking part, or why the child is lagging behind? So as a teacher, it is also very important that you then, interact adequately with the parents, the second stakeholder. See, I always say this, that a child stays for 6 hours at school. Remaining 18 hours a child stays at home. 220 days in an year is academic year. Rest 140 days a child is at home. National Education Policy also says 85% of the brain development happens by the age of 6. all your neural networks are developed by the age of 10. So in initial years, it is very important that a child, is being taken care of not only by schools but also by the parents. And it is the responsibility, it's obviously the responsibility of parents, but if, we have to, as schools, we must also take it as our own responsibility to train the parents on how they must have parenting. How parenting should be done at home. Like if a parent at home says that, you are not doing well in class, look at your friend, how is he or she is doing. Then that competitiveness will start developing in the child right at home. So perhaps it is very important that as teachers and principals, you communicate with parents also and tell them that it is, the competition, the feeling of competition, and the kind of, the learning that a child must develop, that parents and the family must also know about it. So that's why we always say, in fact, we in CBSE perhaps will also bring about few guidelines on parenting, that it is very important that as teachers you actively engage with parents and tell them how they should deal with their children in initial ages. When the child moves in higher classes, then perhaps it becomes important that a child is adequately informed and told that, which are his or her areas where he or she is lacking, where he or she is doing well, and then the teachers must then drive strategies and must drive communication in a way that, the ones who are not performing, even they are engaged in the classes. So there are a lot of tools now. We are seeing that technology is driving a lot of tools also, but as teachers we must ensure that technology is not used excessively. Excessive usage of technology is also, bringing some harmful effects. So it is very important that since lot of information is flowing through technology, that your teachers rework on their academic plans and the academic lessons that they are delivering. Because on YouTube or on various edtech platforms, a lot of unique ways of teaching have come, but still they cannot replace a physical, teacher and the kind of socio-emotional connect that a teacher has with a child. So that's why if a teacher, effectively utilizes the edtech platforms and reworks on the academic lesson plan that he or she delivers, so that he or she optimally use the edtech platform also, but also other skills, then perhaps the best teaching learning can happen in classrooms. And I think as teachers, it is also very important that they communicate with their colleagues in a proper manner, because I think many a times what is happening that a child is good in one subject but the child is not good in other subject. So that is why if teachers communicate with each other about their students, they will get to know that, okay, this student is, is not giving attention in my class, but he or she is giving attention in the other class. So, we have to identify the strength of the child subject wise also. So that's why as teachers, they must try to, go into the deep of each and every student's profile. I know a lot of principals I have interacted being Director of Education Delhi with a lot of principals who know name of each and every of their student by name. So I think as teachers, it is also very important that when the academic year starts, the teacher, interacts as much as, and the principal interact as much as he or she can with the students and the parents, so that you know the name of the child. You are making proper profiles of the child, so that where the student is performing well, what are his socio-emotional attributes. We in CBSE, in foundational stage, have also launched Holistic Progress Card. So you all must have, recently we did a webinar on that. So you must have seen that in Holistic Progress Card, The assessment is not only by the teacher, it is also by the peers, it is also by the parents, it is also by the community. So it is very important that we capture all those aspects in education in the era of competitiveness and in the era of coaching industry that is, growing, or the kind of competitiveness that is happening. Many a times people say that what is the use of schools when so much of coaching culture is growing. Schools are and will always remain the most important institution in a society, because these are the institutions from where a child's personality, they are the second home. They are the areas where a child learn how to, live in a society. When a child moves from his or her home, the school is his or her second abode. So that's why school will always remain the most important stakeholder in a society, and we as educators have to play a much more important role. The role not only academically but also socio-emotionally, understanding the dynamics in our society, the way Didi will perhaps is expert in this, on the mental health aspects, how the mental health problems are increasing in a society, and how schools and teachers can play a very important role in addressing the issues. So I will not delve upon that, but I would just say that a teacher and a school is actually a second home for a child, and teachers, parents and students all have to work together if we really want development in our society. And thank you so much for inviting me today, and I hope I would remain associated with Gurgaon Progressive School Council, and we will be having more such programs, and I will get an opportunity further to interact with all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable inputs, those precious words. I request the Executive Council to present our chief guest of the day with a token of our gratitude. Please, sir. And we express our deep gratitude to our chief guest, Shri Himanshu Gupta ji, for delivering such an impactful address. Your insights have provided valuable perspectives, and we are thankful for the time you've dedicated to enlightening us. A moment like this definitely needs to be captured. For that, we will have a photo shoot with our revered chief guest. May I invite Sister Shivani, Captain Indu Bokan ma'am, founder members, erstwhile chairpersons, and esteemed principals of the GPSC member schools to come forth on the stage and make this moment a memorable one with a capture. Some memories are unforgettable, remaining ever vivid and heartwarming. This surely requires a capture, a beautiful moment with Shri Himanshu Gupta ji. Moments become memories, memories become treasures. And here we have the entire GPSC family working on the stage for a memorable moment. This we will remember forever, and it's going to stay in our hearts. Here today, ladies and gentlemen, we are making never-ending memories. The entire GPSC family together in one photograph. It is definitely exciting, I can tell you that, this moment we're having together. All the smiles in one photograph. Let's cherish this moment. Memory is the diary that we all carry about us, and this surely will stay with us. Thank you so much, everyone, for this wonderful capture. It was an amazing moment where everyone got together in one frame, and we would love to relive this memory again and again and again. Communication is the fuel that keeps the fire of collaboration burning bright. Teamwork makes the dream work, but effective communication makes the team work. Coming up next is our first panel discussion in which a great team of leaders and experts would deliberate on the topic, building bridges through effective communication, and share their precious views with us. May I now invite Ms. Rashmi Malik, Treasurer GPSC, to kindly take the proceedings further. Ma'am.
Thank you so much. I think we need a little time to absorb the energy which we had. Just witness and just observe. All right, so this is the first panel discussion. It's going to be very interesting because the topic is very interesting. The topic says building bridges through effective communication. And it's a very, very hard task for our moderator. Is our moderator there? Yes? All right. I didn't see you, so I was a little jittery. All right. And the panelists are all here, I know that. But the coordinator is going to have a tough time. Aditi ma'am, Principal Director, DPS 45. She's supposed to be coordinating this entire session, which has variety of people, right, starting from Indu ma'am, Indu Bokan ma'am, our District Education Officer. Then we have a person from digital field, the cyber expert, Mr. Rakshit Tandon. Then we have, of course, from our Heartful Communication, Madam Kanchan in the panel. I don't know, Aditi ma'am, how are you going to do, and I don't know, Abhishek ji, how are you going to bridge this communication? And it is going to be very, very interesting for all of you, I'm very sure, to see how Aditi ma'am talks about the profile of all the elite panelists, and Abhishek takes the conversation forward. So all the very best, and kindly give a big hand to welcome all our experts on the stage. Thank you.
A very good evening to all the esteemed principals, teachers, the guests who've joined us today. In this hall, there stands years and years of experience. And all that experience boils down to one thing, of how we communicate with each other. Of all the 21st century skills, whether it's collaboration, critical thinking, or creativity, the most vital one, we all agree, is communication, because how do you communicate all that you know? So we have together today a very erudite panel, Captain Indu Bokan, who is not a stranger to any one of us. And before I read out about her from the notes that I have, I think we all know her to be a very, very proactive DEO. She's always available on the phone, and she's there to solve all our problems. May I request the audience to give a loud round of applause to her. She's been serving as the District Education Officer in Gurugram for a long number of years, has garnered recognition through prestigious national awards for her outstanding contributions to education and administration. Acknowledged for her innovative and commendable practices, these accolades reflect her commitment to advancing educational excellence and implementing progressive approaches in this field. My next guest is Ms. Kanchan Rakesh, who is a stranger right now to all of us, but I'm sure by the end of the session we'll have known her well. And reading about her profile, I do think most of us will want her in our schools at some time or the other. She is the National Coordinator and Trainer for Heartful Communication Programs. She's been practicing heartfulness meditation for the past 24 years and has benefited immensely from it. She's a postgraduate degree from EM Lyon University in France. She's worked extensively for several years as a director of corporate strategy and CSR in an FMCG company in Assam. Currently, she's running her own wellness business focusing on ancient Indian medicine of Ayurveda. Another person who's not a stranger to Gurgaon schools, in fact to all the schools of the country, I want to have a survey to see if there's any school in the country that doesn't know Dr. Rakshit Tandon. A cybersecurity expert, he's ever willing to come to schools and talk to children, teachers and parents about the pitfalls of social media and incorrect use of the internet. He's a cybersecurity luminary dedicated to enhancing digital safety. As the director and co-founder of HackDev Technology Private Limited, he has been instrumental in shaping cybersecurity initiatives, holding leadership roles in Hackershala, Code Snag, and Hackers AWL. Rakshit Tandon showcases his commitment to the field, serving as a consultant for the Internet and Mobile Association of India, an advisor for the Cyber Peace Foundation, and chairman for the National Outreach Program on Child Abuse and National Cybersecurity and Security Standards. He emphasizes cyber safety standards for all. Recognized as a TEDx speaker, Rakshit Tandon's contributions extend to talks on Google, where he engages in cybersecurity discussions. Additionally, he serves as an advisory member for cyber crime cells and a training consultant for the UNODC, solidifying his role as a leading advocate for safer virtual world. Thank you so much to all the guests. And now for the moderator, a most unusual person who connects instantly with children when he enters an auditorium where kids are waiting to hear from him, help them decide what they want to do, help them remove the grain from the chaff, and help them find their niche. Also, the very dubious distinction of being a dad who opens a portal for women, moms. The HSM is the largest body of mothers in North India, which has been opened by a father. Kudos to fathers like you, Abhishek. He's an alumnus of University of California, Los Angeles, USA. As an independent career counselor, he has counseled over 70,000 students and conducted over 800 career workshops nationally and internationally. He is the recipient of the prestigious Times Education Icon Award in 2019 and the Golden Star of Education Award in 2018. He is the founder of India's maiden parent community-driven education movement, which I spoke about just now, the HSM. He has also founded the International Alliance of Counselors and Educators, a professional network of 1,500 school principals, counselors, and university reps from across the world. I think I leave it to the panel to start the conversation. May I just remind the panelists to stick to the time allotted so that everyone gets to hear everybody else. And I hope we do have some time at the end for some question answers. I will just be a bystander and watch you all have some fun. Is there a mic? Will we pass this on or are there more?
Check. Thank you, Aditi ma'am. She did the most difficult task already, so I do not have to introduce the panelists here. But the topic of the panel discussion given is building bridges through effective communication. Now, when I was listening to Sister Shivani, one thing that came to my mind was the reason and rationale why we started High School Moms. And the first reason was that we often think that communication is only through words. And we forget that it could be through energy, but most importantly, मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि बच्चे कानों से नहीं आँखों से सीखते हैं. When as a father you take them out for a dinner and you keep your mobile away, that's when they learn how to keep their mobile away. When as a father you touch your dad's feet, then my son learns how to touch my feet. So बच्चे कानों से नहीं आँखों से सीखते हैं. So communication can be varied and complex, but the focus of the panel discussion today is to explore the vital role of communication in fostering stronger relationships, whether it is between educators, administrators, parents, and students. Now, most of us here understand the difficulty that you face in communicating with parents, because I often go to schools, and this is not to North India, I often go to schools around the country, and I feel that for a parent-student event, parents are not there. So you do a session and you do an orientation and parents do not come, and we often say parents are not involved. Possibly it is also a time to look within that, are we communicating the right way that parents feel the need to attend that session? So that's also important. Another example that I'll give before I start asking questions to my eminent panelists is, there are so many teachers out here, even the principals have actually risen up the ladder from being a faculty. And few months back, I met a student of grade 10, and the student told me, and the student scored a perfect score in grade 9 in mathematics. I know there's something about mathematics that even IAS talks and not so IAS also talks. But the student said that till 9th standard, I used to love mathematics. In 10th standard, I lost interest because I do not like my teacher. And this is an example that now I'm citing multiple number of times. And I realized that how one teacher can become so important that a student can lose interest in a particular subject. And I go back to my school days, and I realized in grade 11 and 12, I was taught something called calculus. Till my MBA, I had no clue where is calculus used in life. Only if my teacher that time would have told me that calculus is even used in space sciences, possibly I would not have been a career counselor, maybe I would have been an astrophysicist. I do not know. And that's when high school moms also started something called Teachers of the Future Community about 3 months back, where the first session we did, we trained 6,000 teachers virtually, only to tell them that if you enter your classroom, can you start your next session by stating, this topic will be used at this place in life and in this career. Even that smaller thing will bring a massive change, and that's communication. But coming back to the significance, education landscape continuously evolving. We are embracing technology, and technology can be both restrictive and can also amplify communication. And it is essential for us to understand this topic to adapt to new challenges. So my first question to the district education officer, ma'am, here is, how can effective communication strategies be implemented at policy level to ensure that they trickle down effectively, not just to schools, but to classrooms and to the last mile learner?
Jai Hind and greetings of the day to one and all present here. It's an honor for me to be present here for this panel discussion. The question which has just been raised is very, very important question, and we know that the policies are framed for guidance in decision making and for the action in the field. Now, majorly, if we see, there are the 5 steps which are involved in the policy making. The 5 steps are like initially accumulation of setting the agenda, I'll say. First is the setting the agenda, then is the formulation, then is the adaptation, implementation and administration, and lastly, the monitoring and evaluation. So if we see the first part of itself, that it is the setting of the agenda, means we need to first identify the issue, and we need to collect the data for the same, and we need to analyze the data. Now, the most important where I think the role of all the people, all the stakeholders is there here. The most important role I see here, the approach here should be collaborative, wherein we involve teachers, parents, community reps, whosoever is affected by that policy should be part of it. So lot of inputs should be taken at this stage, and then that's how the effective policy data can be collected. We can even use the digital platform for the maximum inputs in that case. Now, and it will also ensure that there is inclusive decision making, And the second, if we see the second part of it is that, as I said, is the formulation of the policies wherein lot of consultations are needed. What are laws, what are all regulations, rules which have to be framed to ensure the same, the funding, how would it be arranged. And then is the very important part, that is the documentation of the same. Now here comes again the role, the documentation should be such, the language used in the documentation should be such that it is easily understandable and there's no ambiguity in understanding of the same. So we need a very effective, simple and